What's up, y'all? Been listening to the podcast for a couple months. First time calling in.
Wait,
But I do want to touch a little bit about
I've
what y'all
heard
talked about on the
QT
last
call up
show.
on him before.
I know y'all talked a little bit about DJ Moore, his trade value and how
Oh,
important he is
this
to the
isn't
Panthers.
QT. That's why.
I just want to touch a little bit. I think Cody was right on the money when he's talking about DJ Moore. He's really the kind of guy where fucking number one quarterback, a top flight quarterback can really unlock him and take him to the next level. I feel like we've seen DJ, and I might be a little biased. I've loved DJ since we drafted him. I always thought he could be the next Steve Smith, quote unquote, per se. But I really think that a number one quarterback can really take him to the next level. And I know the conversation y'all talked about really kind of shifted into a Robbie Anderson versus DJ Moore comparison of seasons. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't think there is much of a comparison. I know Bad Daddy was talking a little bit about they had the same season, the same stats. And he kind of glossed over the fact that DJ Moore had 97 more receiving yards with like 30 less catches.
Yeah, way less receptions.
That's not comparable. If you got somebody with 1,193 receiving yards on 66 catches, and somebody with 1,096 receiving yards on 95 catches, they have about the same amount of yards, but that is not the same impact on the game that these guys are having. All right, not to mention DJ Moore played in one less game. All right, and he mentioned that DJ Moore was streaking down the field wide open hella times, and Teddy Bridgewater's not going to throw him the ball. If you got a fucking competent quarterback that can get the ball downfield, it throws to a wide open DJ Moore with 1,300 receiving yards rather than 1,100. So I'll just on that real quick. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson is not really a comparison there. Plus, y'all, I think we're forgetting DJ Moore is 23 years old. This man just breaking into his athletic prime. You put him with a top 15, even a top 10, whatever quarterback, and you could really see some special years for the next 6, 7, 8 years with DJ Moore.
Absolutely, I love this call.
So, yeah, I think he's damn near untouchable. But the real untouchable piece on this team is Brian Burns, just because of what he can do and where we got him. Like he's one of the top flight defensive ends in this league, I feel like, right now. And we got him in a position like we drafted him with the 16th pick. We didn't have to spend a number one pick or a number two pick like a Von Miller or Myles Garrett or Jadeveon Clowney. So I think the real untouchable piece on this team right now is Brian Burns. I think he's really the only true untouchable one that I would not trade if you're talking about Deshaun Watson. But I just wanted to touch on that a little bit too. Jumping around a little bit, and then we did talk about. I know y'all did talk about.
He might have another call. Tony, he was bringing you and Bat Daddy to task. He was agreeing with me, saying DJ Moore. He is another guy that is going to blow up and be a household name once he gets a damn good quarterback throwing him the football. And I was tough on DJ Moore when we first drafted him. I felt like he wasn't a complete receiver. I felt like he didn't make a lot of separation at the top of his drops. He ran a lot of banana routes, and basically that's when you curve into your route instead of stopping on a dime and then turning to try and get real separation. He used to have those issues. But guys, DJ Moore has worked so hard to become the best possible version of himself, to actually be the true heir apparent to Steve Smith on the Carolina Panthers. Like, my man has been working his ass off, almost all for nothing, with the hurt Cam Newton, Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke, and now Teddy Bridgewater, man. I maintain
he's taken that damn beating. He's put his body on the line. I don't have anything against DJ. And I think he's very good. And in fact, I want to give a shout out to the Sports Nut on Twitter at ATH2088. Not 20, but 2 letter O 88. He said this, also the slander on DJ Moore last week. What the heck? I think he's talking to me. This guy is a true number one. Was listening to the guys from the draft dudes the other day. Their comp for him is Hopkins. Look at his stats in his first 3 years versus the first 3, I guess, of Hopkins is what he was saying. And he went on to say that ultimately that he's done this with Kyle Allen, Teddy Bridgewater. He's 1,000. And I think that's all wonderful. I think he's a good, if not great player. Will he and can he be the best receiver in the league? I don't know. That's kind of hard to say. He's been very productive. He's been available, right? Another big deal.
He's better than Panther fans and some non-Panther fans think he is.
Yeah.
I just think what I really agree with the caller is this is easier to replace him. And he wasn't saying this, but he was saying the irreplaceability of Brian Burns. And that is my singular point here, is that if we had an opportunity to get Deshaun Watson and it's a DJ Moore thing, I feel like we can find a way to replace DJ Moore a lot easier than we could vice versa. Not trying to take away from his game and this and that. He has not got the physical stature so he's not a mega, like he's a ball. He's got this great after the catch. There's a certain fight in him, but there are early in the season, he seems to kind of be sluggish in the beginning. Maybe it was just this year where he kind of, he had some drop passes early on and some different things, and Robbie Anderson took the show over for a little bit, and then it became the DJ Moore show. But there is a great point is that, and we said this a lot when it came to Steve Smith, is that it's terrible to watch a great receiver on a shitty team. Yeah. And Steve Smith, if you would have put him on the 2009, 2010, 2011 Indianapolis Colts with Peyton Manning, this dude would have been first ballot Hall of Famer. He was is like he. So I don't got a problem with DJ. I also don't like what you guys say though about DJ and Curtis being a good tandem together. I don't think that's right either. And that's kind of my point I don't want a duplication of talents. And he's a smaller statured guy. He is stocky and strong and this and that, but he's not a go up in the corner and throw it over the top guy.
But I mean, you also can't prove that they're not good together. I mean, what's true for one is also true for the other. I have maintained that if we had a healthy Cam Newton and Cam Newton can still throw the deep balls, like forget what you saw with Cam Newton and Ted Ginn. Like him and Curtis Samuel could have been money, but the stars didn't align. And I maintain too that, I hope that we can salvage DJ Moore's career. I do not think we're going to retain Curtis Samuel, and I'll bet you everything Curtis Samuel goes somewhere else and has a career resurgence. No. If he's able to get a quarterback,
he was great last year. What are you talking about, a resurgence?
But again, he plays for the Panthers, so it doesn't fucking mean anything. They don't have over 5 touchdowns in a year. That's why no one in the national media talks about these guys. That's why I made the comparison. DJ Moore is similar to DeAndre Hopkins. And that only sounds crazy right now just because DJ hasn't had a Deshaun Watson throwing the rock at him. But if he did, then you would all of a sudden be able to tell what kind of receiver we have in DJ. And I think that's true for Curtis also.
I think that we need to play a word game here where it's not a matter of how am I trying to word this? They had the opportunity. They had the opportunity to be a great team. Because I don't want to say missed opportunity because it's just, we've heard that too much.
Bad memories. Yeah.
Yeah. We had the opportunity, but they haven't done it. So you can't say, well, they haven't not proven it yet. No, they have not proven it. They've been together a few years. They have not proven they can be the most elite team, duo wide receiver. Granted, you're right. They haven't had a quarterback. But you can say that for anything, man. Oh, if this person would have had this running back with them, they would have, done this, or this DB would have been. You can say that anytime.
But how can you look at this year with Teddy Bridgewater and say they didn't have one of the most electrifying offenses as far as a wide receiver duo when both of them had over 1,000 yards and they had Teddy Bridgewater throwing them the ball.
No, they had a great year. I'm not denying that at all. But I'm saying for people saying that they are like an elite team, they're not like it's like I said, nobody fears DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel.
I don't think
you don't hear about. I don't think anybody does, man. I mean, you never hear about it. You never hear about. Okay, maybe teams do on a level where they're going to play them, but you never hear anybody talk about it. I guess the media or anybody talk about it.
I get what you're saying. Like I said, that makes a difference. Yeah.
Even if they were a team that only produced what they produced with the 10 touchdowns between the two of them, if they were somebody that struck fear in the hearts of people, they'd be talked about more.
And by the way, that's why I guarantee you that Curtis Samuel is going to be a hot ticket on the free agent market. I'll bet you anything. All the people that watch film and see what dude, that's a real. He was coached by Urban Meyer at Ohio State, and now, dude, if you see Curtis Samuel with Trevor Lawrence throwing him the football, dude, I'm telling you, you will not recognize the kind of player. I made the comparison, and people scoffed at it, that Curtis Samuel could have been our own version of Tyreek Hill.
I think you're getting me wrong though here, because I was so hype on Curtis Samuel when the Panthers drafted him. Like I was. This is the Tyreek Hill. That's what I mean. I'm telling you, go back and check the tape. I was all over this, and I was defending it. I was hoping for it, and the Panthers just never could, under the Ron Rivera regime, figure out how to use it. I would say last year, Joe Brady did the best we've seen with utilizing Curtis Samuel in his entire tenure.
Well, I think it's also an unfair comparison with him because he was injured for a good portion of his first 2 years.
Well, yeah, he struggled with a hamstring. Then he had
but that's all part of the game, y'all. I mean, Cody, what you're saying, if it's ifs and buts, or no, that's not what you're saying. If my aunt had an uncle, or if my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle. Yeah, I mean, we can say that anytime. Of course, if this had happened, but it hasn't. And we can't judge somebody on potential and say they're a great player because they had potential.
Is that what the draft is?
I don't even have a problem.
We don't think they're great players in the draft. We hope they're great players.
I don't have a problem. You can say DJ Moore is the dopest ever. You could say Curtis Samuel is the dopest ever. Here's the thing that I keep coming back to, is that we saw a Carolina Panthers team that was small at receiver go and get Kelvin Benjamin one year, and then Devin Funchess, and they went from they were undersized at receiver, so now they go oversized. And I felt like this is that Funchess wasn't terrible. Benjamin wasn't terrible until he just quit playing football.
Yeah.
And started eating donuts or whatever. I just want Curtis Samuel and a 6'5" receiver together. I just don't want 2'6". That's the thing. Yeah. I don't want a guy. I mean, yes, is that I'm not saying that they can't work together.
Yeah.
But why I think Curtis Samuel alongside of Devontae Adams. Oh shit. Whoa.
Yeah.
You got a guy that can be a possession receiver and stretch the field and can run every route in the route tree in Devontae Adams. And then you throw in this mug that's can do all this versatile stretch the field, yak stuff. That's what I'm just trying to say when it comes to Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore. Is not that together, like either one of them is bad. Yeah, both of them, but it's like, do they complement each other in the most perfect way? And you could even say that Robbie Anderson isn't the greatest compliment to these guys because kind of their skill set theoretically is going deep.
They're all very similar in nature. I don't think anyone would disagree with you, and I think that's why all of their stats,
like Jason.
But that's also why their stats looked pretty similar comparatively. Same kind of player. I think it also hurt us that we didn't have a functional tight end for most of the season that we could depend on.
Yeah.
Yes. But let's hit some more.